Hello everyone, this is That Programming Guy, and remember, you guys can do the thing no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on. I believe you guys can get it done. Haha, so what are we... Yes, sweetie?
It's very, very hot.
Oh, you made me my boob tea?
I did.
You're on stream, by the way.
Grab the handle. It's very hot.
I got the hand... Hold on. I got it. Thank you. Sweet, boob tea. Awesome. You're gonna go right there, and I get to... Oh, I thought it was gonna be pink. Why isn't it pink?
It's herbal.
Fuck herbal. I want it to be pink. Damn it. Anyway, guys. Anyway, so what's happening is I was at Winco a while back, and a wife wanted body butter because stuff. She's not pregnant. I swear to God, she's not pregnant. And in the section, I saw stuff for tea that promotes breast milk production, and I wanted to know what this tastes like. So my wife made me some. It was fucking good. I just have to wait for it to cool down. Well, I'm excited to know what it tastes like. Anyway, today we are working with Azmodan0588. We're working with Azmodan0588 to make Hangman. We haven't been doing this for a while. Didn't do it last week because I didn't see his message. Didn't do it the week before because he was busy. But yeah, so we have 10 seconds left on Azmodan stream, so we're going to be quiet for a little bit while he does his intro.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, right, you do your intro first and you stay muted.
Yes, I stay muted for a few seconds, and then I unmute and say hello to you.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
So, let's go over to... Oh, that's after start. Whoops. I'm being an idiot. I'm still learning how to use my things.
Oh, shit, that's really hot. Jesus. Okay. That's
really
fine.
hot.
Did you hear me when I was doing the intro? When you were in the intro, did you hear anything that I said?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
I was focusing on other things.
That's fine. So, my wife got really bloated because of her UC in the hospital, so she got stretch marks. So she's like, try to find some, belly butter for me for pregnant women. So I'm at the store, and I see that there's this... I went to the pregnancy section, the baby section, and there is this tea to promote breast milk production.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to try this. So I told her, I'm like, hey, make me some tea like that. I'll try some. So she just came in, brought me the tea, and it's really hot. So I touched the cup, and it is very hot.
I mean, tea's supposed to be hot?
I don't know. I'm excited to try this. I want it to be pink, though, and it's herbal tea, so it's not pink. I'm like, oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be good marketing if they could get it pink, but I think they would detract from the all-natural part if they dyed it pink.
Oh, very true. I agree with you. Anyway, so if I'm correct, last week we didn't do this because I just totally didn't see your message. The week before that, we didn't do it because you were busy.
Yeah, the week before and the week before that, I was working.
Okay, so we haven't done this in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, to give you a refresher on where we are, we completed the guessing game, and we made it so, there's a 5 guess count. We made it so the computer will tell you if you won, if you didn't win. I did a simple test just to be like, make sure it still works. Because I don't want to run into the thing that happened like 4 weeks ago where just code just wouldn't work.
Okay.
Sorry. So now with that, we are... Yes, I know I'm live. Thank you, me. Now that we are this, I think the next step is to make a Hangman game. This is
Huzzah
gonna
for
be...
Hangman.
What?
I said huzzah for Hangman.
Yes. This is going to include input, output. This is going to include, the game loop that we spoke about. This is going to include actually not just writing a string, but almost like formatting the string in a way to make it look like nice. One thing though we are not going to deal with is having like random words, because really the best thing we could do is like give Python. The best thing we can do is actually have a file on our local computer, read from that file, choose a random word, and then do that. But that's too much work. We could also do here's a list of like 10 words and then have Python pick randomly. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to have one word that us are always going to have to guess. And it's going to be like, if we lose after a certain amount of guesses, that's cool. Stuff like that.
Okay. So are we also going to
yes.
create like a window where it's kind of separate in the aspect where it'll be like the Hangman games you see on online, where they'll have a static section up above that will consistently change, or is it going to be printing it every single time?
There is actually technology in the command window, so on the command prompt to do the first thing that you said. Okay. However, we don't have a command window. We're using this, so it will literally be we'll put in a guess, and then we'll write everything, and if that's going to happen. So it's not going to be instant, unfortunately. But yeah, what does Nick Raptor say? Says letter S. Body drawn on whiteboard causes the word doesn't start with S. I don't understand that. Nick Raptor, you're confusing.
It's basically saying that he's saying the letter S, then with Hangman you draw the body.
Oh, I get it. Oh, fuck that. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Too much work. We don't need to deal with that. So this will involve a lot of stuff, lists, arrays, data structures, which we haven't even gotten into yet. And I might just explain those anyway, just so you get it. This multiverse, this Hangman will not be done this session. It'll probably take 1 or 2 more after this.
Okay.
But, so yeah, this will not be done. Let us not rush it. So, I'll give you, if you want, a few more seconds to look at this and be like, oh my god, how pretty it is. Because this will be deleted. Are you ready?
This?
Yes. Unless you want to save a local copy. I have a local copy, Notepad++. I could always send it to you if you want. You forgot. Fine, I won't delete it. You forgot that, though. It would be much better if you didn't, delete it first. You're like, oh shit, I made a mistake. Computers never make mistakes.
I know, but, I have fat fingers.
We actually say that a lot in the software development world. It's like, oh, I fat-fingered it.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Well, the funny thing is like, my finger actually is the size of an entire button on my keyboard.
That sucks.
Yep. So I fat finger a lot.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's when my nails start to get long. My long nails will, push the key above it. Oh, it's so annoying. Alright, so let's get started. Are you ready, Azmodan, sir?
I am ready.
Sweet. So we're going to approach this the same way that we're approaching this problem, the same way that we approached the Cliff project as well. We're going to start to describe this in English. Now I just want to talk to you, have a conversation. Let's not write. We're about kind of writing in comments. So to start off, if I'm writing a Hangman game, what is the high level things I need to kind of worry about?
So we'd need to pick out, or the computer would need to pick out the word that's going to be the randomized word.
Yes.
We would need an input for whatever letter guesses. It would need, then the computer would need to check the input to where it is in that word, if it's there or not. If it is there, it needs to put it in. If it's not there, it needs to put an output to say, no, you're wrong, gonna die.
Go ahead, you can do that.
And I mean, in the perfect world where we can do anything we want, we would also draw a person hanging.
Mm-hmm. All right, update on the boob milk tea. It tastes like an herbal tea. Like, I don't know. I thought there would be some special in some way, but it just tastes normal, I guess.
Yeah. And hey, said who? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. You never programmer before ever. My extent is the last. This is what, the third
Three.
or fourth?
This is the fourth one.
Last three. Yeah, so the last 3 sessions that that programming guy has been teaching me. Before that, I did a little bit of programming in Java in university, but that's about it. And I know that really irritates that programming guy with how I say that.
Wait, say what? Sorry, I was looking at just how long the lag was between watching multi-Twitch and what I was doing.
Yeah, I was saying how I say Java.
Oh. Yeah, we had that. I mean, at least you don't like really going like you're like Java.
I mean, I could just change my voice so I could say Java.
You could do that
every single time.
Said who? I don't know if you're on multi-Twitch right now. But age does not matter when learning programming. Anyone can learn programming no matter what the age. At my meetup, I have someone who's like 3 or 4 years older than me, and he's been a programmer for a year, so it really does not matter. Let me. No.
I mean, to be fair, I also predate Windows.
There we go. Age does not matter, guys. Yeah, that's fine.
No. Age doesn't matter. It's literally opportunity as it comes by, and I mean, I expressed interest, and he was here to say, "Hey, I can teach you."
I
So
can teach
like, hey.
anybody. All right. So now we have that. So yeah, we're like back to Hangman. So it's like we need to display the word. We need to tell the user, "Hey, hey, you got it wrong. Hey, you got it right. If they got it right, update the word. If they got it wrong, we probably want to tell them what they've guessed. So they don't re-guess it. Now, here's the thing. So this is where, like, speaking of incorrect guesses, you know, graphics programming, yeah, eventually. Speaking of incorrect guesses, this is when us as developers have the choice to be like, do we want to allow, so basically, let's say if I guess Z and Z is not in the word, should we allow, if the user guesses Z again, do you want that to count against them or not?
I would say the best way to start on learning how to program would be first get the calling the word, and then the next one would be getting the guesses on, or it's saying no, and then once we get that down, then we can put in the count against and not.
Okay, but when we get there, well, the reason why I brought it up is because if you do start developing for a job, there will be questions where you go, I can either do this, or I can either do this, and you would have to choose as the developer, or you'd have a project manager or a manager be like, okay, I got this. What should the program do? Because basically in jobs you'll get a list of business requirements, and then you have to program to those requirements.
Okay.
So we're making this right now, so let's start. I mean, we didn't do everything, but yeah, so the idea of thinking in English, as I said before, you got the first think in English. So, Mr. Azmodan, sir, what is a word you would like the user to guess?
I am typing in the wrong spot.
Dude, that's fine. You can do that. Let's store this as a variable, shall we?
Okay, so
I know both you and I are like, shit, how do I do this? At least I am, because I haven't done Python in a...
It's funny, too, because you remember how I told you that I learned this in high school, right?
Yes.
Well, Pat's actually one of my friends from high school, so she knows exactly when I learned how to write out this word.
Mm-hmm. Pat Kenley. God, no one's talking on my chat. I'm so sad.
Pat Kindlin. Apparently, it's
Oh, it has to be a string too.
It's some. Hey Pat, what language is your username in again? I know it's in. I want to say Swedish. I know it means rat girl, but what language is it? All right, Hungarian.
Hungarian?
But yeah, it's Hungarian. I read it as Pat Canilani as well, but.
Oh, we're talking about like a literal language. Okay, not a programming language. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun, guys. I hope you're excited to laugh a lot. Okay.
You doing all right there?
I don't know, maybe the boob tea is doing stuff. I don't know. But anyway, okay, so we have the word to guess. It's assigned into a string. So now we have the word to guess. Great. So now the next thing is games usually welcome the user. It's like, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. How would you like to introduce this game to the user, Azmodan? Wow. Okay. Opens up game. You suck. Fuck this game. Alright, so you suck. Guess the damn word already. Cool. So we've introduced them to the word. So now we need to guess until they get the word or until they've done the number of guesses. And so before we continue, I want to talk to you about some Constance Python. Man, only if, like, Sergeant Alpha was here, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen him actually in a long time. Like, I've seen him be active. Like, he actually posted something in my Discord recently, but I haven't seen him active on Twitch in a long time.
Yeah, he has been on Twitch for a while. I also talked to him on his own, hold on. On his own, fuck. On his own Discord. In fact, I held out. I'm like, no, man, I also took away my subscription from him. I'm like, you gotta be streaming. I tried so hard.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Alright, well, you don't help. Okay. So basically, so we have the word to guess on line number 1, line number 2 now. So now we need to have a number of times the user can, guess. So in other languages that is not Python, C, C, C++, C#, Java, you have something called constants. And constants you can assign to them once you declare them, and they can never be changed. The syntax, the naming convention is all in caps. So we're going to say all in caps separated by underscores. So if you want to have a max of get a lot of guesses, that's a big word. Now we're going to make it hard.
No, we only need 3 guesses because it has probably close to 20 of the letters of the 26 in it.
There. So line number 1, number of guesses equals 3. So in Python, I could then on line number 5 say number of guesses equals 5 and change that. But in other languages, usually if the compiler would actually tell you, it's like, hey, you're trying to modify a constant value, it can't be modified. And the reason why we assign 3 to the number of guesses is I'm going to quickly bring back one part of the snippet from the code that we did. And that would be this one right here. Open up Notepad.
Oh, right.
That line. While guess count does not equal 5 and guess does not equal rando. That, if In C const, yeah. Guess count equals 5, does not equal 5. From the variable name, we can kind of guess, like, okay, we have a max of 5 guesses. Got that. But we could instead go number of guesses. So then we can go, well, guess count does not equal the number of guesses. And now there's a few reasons why you'd want to do this. One, it reduces the amount of code you've duplicated. Because now let's say you have 5 twice somewhere in your code. This magic number, 5, could be separated by like 500 lines of code by 2 lines of code. And now you have to know that you have to make a change in 2 different places. Or 3, or 4. And then what's going to happen is, let's say you change 2 out of the 3 locations, and then you push it to production, and it still has an error. Yeah. Then you have to tell your boss, I'm sorry, I fucked up. So.
No, I mean, I get this part because, I mean, I do this in Excel all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know what is in Excel and what is not in Excel, so.
Yeah, I do like I have done really advanced Excel sheets to the point where you're doing multiple equations and having things referencing things, things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so so in programming wise, it's called a magic number. If you see you have a magic number that means something, throw it into a constant and give it a name. So now the user may have a max of 3 guesses. The word to guess is anti-disestablishmentarianism. Do you know how to spell that off the top of your head, by the way?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. So remember word to guess. We've introduced the user to the game. And so now we need to go into the game loop, and we need to basically go loop X many times, or until the user has guessed the word. So now this is almost kind of reminiscent of what we did before. So we're going to have a boolean value. So has user guessed the word is true. And then we're going to have current number of I don't know a good word for that.
Guess number?
Guess count. Yeah, equals
guess count.
0. 0 because they literally haven't guessed anything yet. Okay, cool. So there of that. So now we need to do a while loop while the user has not guessed the word and the guess count is less than number of guesses. Can you do that for me?
Sorry, say that again. I got distracted. I actually have for some reason my headphones are picking up the radio station, and for some reason I tuned you out and started listening to a car fire on the radio.
All right, wow. So now we need to get into the game loop where we need to loop a certain number of times. So we could actually use a for loop here because we have number of guesses, but we're going to use a while loop instead.
Okay.
So we need to loop while the user has not guessed the word and the guess count is less than the number of guesses.
Well, guess count is less. Wrong one. It's less than
number of guesses.
Guesses.
Yeah, typing in all caps is really it gets weird until you get used to it.
Yeah. All right. So then tab that in. So all that.
No semicolons. Python does not do semicolons. Also, the C in guess count is capitalized.
Oh, it is. Is there no semicolons?
No. Python does not have semicolons. You got that from me.
Oh. Okay.
So, well, number of guesses, and then you have 2 conditions you need to worry about. One of them is what you just did, but you need to add a second condition. You can actually look back at what we did. Here, let me just post this again. Hold on.
Because I was being a dick and deleting everything. Well, guess count And guess it's not equal rando. Okay, so our guess count is less than
Number of guesses.
guesses.
And the user has not guessed the word.
And okay,
So this would be, so basically take the English description of what I did and try to translate it to use has user guessed word. Or you can rename the variable whatever you want, that's fine.
it was just the has would throw me off. And plus easier to change it.
That's fine. This is all for you, Azmodan, not me.
And user has guessed the word equals
Actually,
false.
hold on a second. So that's the one way to do it. That is one way to do it, but then if you show anybody that, they will slap you on the face.
Okay.
Because user guessed the word is already a Boolean value, so you don't need to compare it to another Boolean value.
Okay.
So what we want to do is we can negate it, and we can go, oh shit, nope, not that.
And he said that's a double equals too.
No, yes, but we don't want that. But you are correct. That would be bad. Just a not. I think it's a not. Oh my god, I have to look this up again. I believe to do a Boolean is a not. Yeah, it is an exclamation point, which is great. So this is basically this. So user guessed the word, and we are going to do this quickly. So the casing I'm teaching is actually from C#, but I'm not going to worry about it. You can read it. I can read it. So now this is saying and user has basically not guessed the word.
So this means not, right?
Correct. That negates it. So true is now false. False is true.
Okay.
So you were correct, and you could have done this, which technically shows more, but the convention freaking everywhere is to use this. So that's what we're going to use. While guess count is less than the number of guesses, and the user has not guessed the word. Now, if you see, I was able to kind of take this code thing and translate it into an English sentence. Dude, said who? If you're watching, I'm not going to worry about bitwise operations right now. Just because those are way over what we need right now.
Yeah, this is just basic stuff. So I learned the core idea of it. Then I can start learning the more advanced stuff later. Okay, so while that's like that.
So while guess count is that. So now we're in the loop. So now, it's the play the game. Done. We're done. Great. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We're done. Yes.
Oh, yeah, because you're only good until 9, right?
Ooh. No. That was literally like I was being facetious.
Oh. It just so happened to coincide with your normal.
It did. No, we can go like, how long have I been streaming for right now? I've been streaming for 25 minutes. So we can go for another hour. Half hour.
Half hour? Okay.
Half hour. Because I started around when you had 1 minute left, so I'm like an hour after that. So, yes. It's not a 9 p.m. bedtime. It's just more that's when I start winding down and basically because my bedtime is around like 10:30, 11 since I wake up usually around 7 for gaming and streaming. If you can actually listen to me, I don't know. Oh hey, Junkie Real Life, hello. Thank you for joining me today. Hi. All right, so play the game. Cool. So if you remember from 1 or 2 episodes ago, we spoke about loops and how loops have 3 things to it. They have an initializer, I-N-I-T-I-L-S-E-R. We initialize things. We have the testing, and let's put a 2 there. Testing, and we have a 3. We have a update. Go up here. Parts of 8. Both the for loop and the while loop have this. So the test we just made right here. Guess count is this. Additionally, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this stuff right here and we're going to move it a bit downwards. And the reason why we can do that... Oh, don't do that. The reason why we're doing this is because we can now see, like, user guess the word is used right here on line 15. Guess count on 13 is used on 15. And this makes it so, let's say we had, you know, line 12 and 13, but we actually used them on line, like, 50 or 70. Us programmers would have to remember that the two variables declared and assigned on 12 and 13 and 14 were used 15 lines later. So the idea when you're programming is to always try to keep the declaration assignment as close as possible to when you use it. Because as software developers, our goal is to reduce complexity.
Okay.
So now that we've replayed the game, so now we made the initializer. This is the initialization. This is the test that will be tested every iteration of the loop. If basically the result of this is false, we will exit the loop. And then we have to update it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the loop, the guess count will always go up by 1. So I'm going to introduce you to some new lingo right here. We're going to do plus plus. So what I showed you before was this. That. We're saying take guess count, add 1 to it, reassign it back to guess count. By the way, just Junkie RL, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me again. So this line 17 is shorthand for line 18. This,
that's a lot easier.
It is. Also, most people know how to read that easier. This stands for increment. Increment.
And
yes.
said you can also do guess count plus.
Oh yeah, plus equals 1. That is correct. So if you want to be even fancier, kind of, if you want to be middle fancy, you can also do that as well. Which is basically, again, shorthand for this. It's saying add 1 and assign.
Okay.
So we're incrementing this by 1. So plus plus increments by 1.
Okay.
Now, technically, there's also, you could also do this. In this place where it is in the while loop, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna tell you it anyway because I'm doing well. Thanks. You're learning Python as well, Junkie RL. Well, thank you. Awesome. Keep joining when we can. We do this like every Saturday around 8:30 PS.
Unless I'm working.
PS time. Unless he's working. I'm also gonna start actually like a subscription service for myself to actually teach programming as well. So be looking forward to that. But yeah, also just got a junior dev job. Oh my God, you got a junior dev job? Dude or dudette, good fucking job. Like, getting your first job as a developer is so just fucking hard. Good job. I would give you a pat on the back if I could. Here. That's a pat on the back. Haha. Okay, so back to this code. What 17 is saying, it's like this. It's saying, use guess count, then increment. Line 18 is saying increment guess count, then use it. So where it is, it really kind of doesn't matter. You'll see this, like, this is more used like kind of like in C code and C++ code. So I'm just showing you this because it does exist.
Okay.
Where we are right now, it doesn't matter because we're not using guess count until we get right here.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep it this. And now we have kind of the update.
Okay, I got a question for this.
I have an answer.
I don't want to go past this. So let's say we want to increment by 2, just for there. Would
Yes.
it be, when you do this, would you have to I would assume you don't just put 5 pluses.
Thank you so much
It
for
would
the
be
follow.
probably
I
something like
appreciate you.
a number
You
is put after
are
it, or
appreciated.
would it be better just to do the plus equals 5?
Sorry. Oh my God. I think you're. Sorry. Somebody followed me, and that was really loud on my microphone, in my headset. Basically, you're asking, could we do this, or would it be better to do just the plus equals 5? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. According to said who?
Yeah, he was actually like, I don't know if he read my mind and started typing out what I was, my question. He got this, he started typing out exactly what I was asking about.
I don't.
Oh, okay. So he was saying that if you do guess count plus plus and then a plus 5, it'll be 5. But if you do plus plus guess count plus 5, it'll be a 6.
Alright, you know what? Fuck that shit. That's way too confusing. Like, I bet if you did Python more, you would totally get used to it, but that makes no sense to me. Like, I bet if I read it, I could parse it and understand it, but my god. Oh, my T's gone. Damn it. Okay. So, for me, because in the languages I write, there's no, like, plus plus 5, and there's no Python BS. So if I wanted to increment it by 5, I'll just do plus equals 5. That's what I would do.
Okay. Vescania just said, just keep it simple. Plus plus to increment by 1 equals plus to increment more than 1.
Yes, I would. That is what I would recommend as well, because that's how it is everywhere else.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but we are just going to do a plus plus by 1, because that is all we need. However, the other update we need is not just incrementing guess count, but also incrementing, if the user has guessed the word or not. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sorry, plus equals. Trying to type outside the code. But yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was plus equals code rather than equals plus, like I had said. So I was reading it phonetically.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I changed in my head how it is because this is just I'm so used to typing this way.
Okay.
So because we have 2 tests up here, we need to have kind of 2 updates.
Okay.
Guess count plus plus handles this test. But now we have to see if the user has actually guessed the word or not. So there are now multiple ways we can kind of approach this problem. By the way, Junkie RL, still thank you so very much for the follow. You're fucking awesome. There are multiple ways we can approach this problem. We could do a direct string comparison and go store a variable in like the word in like how the user has guessed the word. We could do like have a boolean be like, you know, if the user has guessed, I don't know, there's multiple ways we could go through this right now, and this is one of the problems as a software developer, is how do we want to approach the problem, because how we decide to approach the problem can drastically affect how hard or easy or simple the code is to read and execute and write. Now, as software developers, we're usually asked to do the impossible, and so we don't know off the top of our heads. If you keep doing things, you know, if you start coding for like 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 20 years, you start to know what's easy and what's not easy because, you know, you've done it. You know, if you have a second kid, I don't know if you will, if you don't, that's fine. You'll know you're like, this may or may not have worked with Cora. Let's not do this with the second kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is getting really hot in here for some reason. So we need to compare we need to know if the user has guessed the word correctly. So what's something you're thinking maybe on how to do this?
Well, I mean, we kind of also need to check with the inputs whether we either need a way of putting either the guessing of the word, or we need a way of just guessing one letter.
Yes.
So, Because I mean, let's face it, there's always going to be jerks that will type in like 2, 3, 4 letters.
We are going to assume they don't do that right now.
I know.
But yes, that is correct. That is good to think about, though. No, good job on being like, there are jerks who will make this wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those jerks that like to break
That's
things,
fine.
So.
Maybe you can be a pen tester.
I mean that is true. We could test for that. Where, if it's more than one thing, we could do is if it's more than one character, we could just test it against if it's the word. If it's not the word, we give them a strike. So that basically rules out people trying to be jerks with that.
Yes. Yeah, and the reason why I keep saying let's assume the user is a good user is because adding tests like that will just bloat the code. And I'm like, I want to focus more on what we're doing making the game and not just blowing the code.
Well, then the next thing we need to do is we need an input that will check if the input is the word.
Wouldn't they just be guessing one letter at a time?
Unless they get the full word, or unless they know the full word, wouldn't they be able to... I guess, yeah, I should just check one letter at a time until you get it.
That is now another question. Do you want the user, if they somehow if they know the word, do you want them to just be like, I know the word, let me tell you what it is? Do you want to allow the user to do that? I would say no, mostly just because that it's going to add more code, and once we get the main game done, then we can worry about adding that later. But is that something you might want to let the user to do as we keep adding to this?
Let's do it. So initially, we're going to make this as simple as can be. So we'll start with get it functional to the simplest amount, and then add in features after.
Yes. And Sedhu, you are totally correct. You are totally correct. We could, ask the user 2 questions. One is, do you want to guess the word or do you want to guess the letter? And then they could do it. You are so correct. Let's worry about one choice right now and then add it as we go on.
Add the option after, yeah.
Yes. If, if you were more advanced, then yeah, we could do it all at once. But let's just do the simple case first, get it running, and then we can totally add to it.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. He's listening to me then, or she's listening to me then. Awesome. Okay, so question though still is, how are we going to test to see if the user has guessed every letter?
Well, we would need to check to see if the displayed word that's printed out is equal to the word to guess.
All right, so
I don't know
yes.
how. So we need to set up this is the part I'm not sure how we would get. Is like the displayed word is, I don't know how we would actually sort out.
Yes, exactly, and that's where you are right now is totally fine. A lot of people, when they start out, and I'm glad you're here, I'm glad you got to this, will get to a point, junior developers, so Junkyarl, I hope you're listening to me. A lot of junior devs, or the people who are learning programming for the first time, they'll know how to do something, and then they'll get to a point where they don't know, and then they're like, oh my god, I don't know. This other person who has 10 years of experience would know what to do. How come I don't know what to do? I'm like, you're just starting. To give an example, one easy way to test if a number is even or odd is to divide it by 2 and see if the remainder is 1 or 0. If it's 0, it's even. If it's 1, it's odd. I didn't know that. And so when I started Java, I saw that in an intro to Java book. I'm like, I'm so stupid. How would I not know that? How dare I not know that? Like, I felt that I was non-smart or I was stupid for not knowing that. So where you are now is great. And this is when a lot of people like this part of the program and they go, I don't know how to solve this problem. You can either look up online, look how to do it, or you can go, let's just forge ahead. Modulo? Yes, modulo, but I didn't say modulo because I haven't introduced it yet. And I didn't want to confuse him. Well, since the word modulo is in your chat, Azmodan, I guess we should talk about it.
Okay.
Modulo is a thing you can do in programming that will basically return you the remainder. Okay. So if you do what's 5 modulo 3, it will return you 2, because 5 divided in 3, no it's not, 5 modulo 7 will return you a remainder of 2, because 5 can fit into 7 once with the remainder of 2 left over. That's usually done by the percentage sign. So yes. Thank you, Fascania. Anyway, so now you got to a great point where you're like, I don't exactly know how to do this. And this is when you kind of just have to forge ahead and go on your own. Is if you're developing software as well, you will encounter this a lot where you're like, I don't know the best way to do this. I just need to start and go. Because a boss is not going to pay you 3 days, 4 days worth of work. Yes, said who, you can do that too. 3 or 4 days worth of work to be like, I didn't do anything. I spent researching how to get this problem done.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it is in Canada, but in Washington State, your employer could go, okay, well, you're fired. Because Washington State is an at-will employment state.
Yeah, here it would be, basically the boss would go, what have you done in the last 4 days? Well, nothing, I've been researching. Well, you missed the deadlines for this. Here's your first warning. Next time you're, get it done by tomorrow.
Do you only smoke weed in Canada, Azmodan? Is that what you do?
I'm allergic.
Oh.
So, I can do it once.
All right. All right. So this is where we don't know what to do, how to do it. There's multiple ways to do it. So basically we need to let's start thinking about this now. The first thing we need to do is we need to compare if the user has guessed, if the word the user has guessed matches the word that they need to guess. So we can do that. We can go like this. We can go like, if the guesses the user has made is all the letters in word to guess, or something like that. Say the user has 1, otherwise the user sucks. I don't know, something like that. Hey! Oh, KJ Miller! Oh my god, KJ Miller, how are you doing today? Guys, if you're on my chat...
Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. You
are appreciated. Okay, that is really fucking loud. KJ Miller, thank you guys so much. Guys, if you don't know KJ Miller, he is the founder, would say, of Productivity in Tech. His goal is to make developers more productive. He's fucking great. I've been in some roundtables, guys, so if you're watch my YouTube channel, I do have the links below in the description that actually has me in his roundtable. Yes, you are appreciated. But he's a great guy. Productivity in Tech is great. He and I talk a lot. He's a fucking great guy. So yeah, KJ Miller. Well, you changed it. Okay, Azmodan. You changed it. Okay. Sucks big hairballs. Okay. But yeah, KJ Miller's fucking great, guys. I'd recommend to Google Productivity in Tech. Sorry. I'd recommend to use your favorite search engine to Google Productivity in Tech. Anyway. Alright, so if the user has guessed, so I'm kind of leaning us in the direction. So one thing we can do is we can compare string to string. We could go if the word the user has guessed, so if the word that's been filled out equals the word to guess, then they would work. You can post links, I don't care. Why shouldn't you not post links, Mr. KJ Miller? So one thing we can do is this. It's a really hacky way to do this, I guess. But we could go guessed word so far. How many freaking letters are in? Do you know how many letters are in this? Azmodan, sir?
I know how to spell it. I don't know how many letters. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22, 4 is 26.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6. There we go. So we could do something like this, where once the user has, let's say, I'm gonna guess a letter and they guess A.
Oh,
we could
actually, apparently you can just put Len and then word to guess.
Yes, that is true, but I needed to know how long it was so I could type this out on line 4.
Yeah, but that would tell you how long the word was.
It would, yeah. I know. It has a length. I totally know it. So, yes, that is true. You can annoy me. You're working on my subscription tool thingy for my business, so I'll only be half listening, but interested in what you're up to. All right, KJ Mailer, thanks for the half lurk. So one thing we could do, Azmodan, is once they guess a letter, we could do something like, let's say they guess A, for instance. We could go find all indexes where there is an A, and then on guessed word so far, replace the underscore with an A. We could do something like that.
I was too off.
There's 28 or 24?
28. I just put 2 in.
Okay. So that's one thing you can do. We can literally go, we could literally replace it, and then we can do a string compare.
Okay.
I think that just might be the best way to do this right now. Is to do that?
Okay.
I don't know. But we're going to go with that. So, play the game. Cool. If the guesses work, okay, so we got that. So now we can do something like this, right? So I'm going to do this in a longhand way. Sorry. And then I thought, then we're going to shorten it down. So we can do something like this. We can do, actually, no, Azmodan, you do this.
Hang
Yes.
on a second. So somebody's been staring at me for the last little bit, so why don't you say hi to everybody?
Oh my god, is this your daughter?
This is my kid.
Oh my god, hello! Hi,
So
Clara.
she noticed that, because I told her about 9 o'clock would be when we're ending.
Uh-huh.
And so she saw that it was past 9 o'clock and has been staring at me saying, hey, it's past 9. You're supposed to come in, like, fully tuck me in and everything.
Oh, should we stop here so you can tuck in your daughter?
No, it's fine. She knows that it'll just be a couple more minutes.
All right, 9 more minutes according to me.
So, Cora, if you look over there, people are actually saying hi. So, said who said hi. Viscania actually said she looks just like me. Said who actually did a waving emoji.
So
Okay.
people who
why
are
don't
on
you
my
go wait in your
stream...
room?
Sorry, go ahead.
Why don't you just... Oh, KJ Miller actually just said hi over on that programming guy's stream. Yeah, and that's the guy who's been teaching me how to program.
I...
So why don't you go wait in your room, and I will be in a few minutes, okay? You're going to sit there, okay? Just stay quiet, okay? While I do this. All right, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I think everyone... This is great. Unfortunately, people on my stream won't be able to see that, but just to guys let you know, on Azmodan's stream, his daughter came in. So, I mean, I guess they can hear you. I have this being recorded so they hear you. Okay, so, now...
Oh,
Yes.
KJ Miller, thank you for the follow, and welcome to the Burning Hells. It is greatly appreciated.
Cool. So, now the other update we want to do is we're going to go, if the user has guessed the word, make user guess the word is equal to true.
Okay.
So, strings in Python are able to compare to each other. So, I'm going to quickly bring this back. This other thing, because now we have a conditional. We need to go, if this is thing, if this, do this.
Yeah.
So, if you remember from that was when if guess is greater than rando, do something. So we're going to need something like that. But we're going to have to instead, if guess is greater than, we're going to have to compare the two strings. We're going to have to compare guessed word so far and word to guess. So, there is a method in Python to compare two strings for equality. What you should do is go on your favorite search engine and type in... You're going to have to tab on 22, by the way. look up how to compare two strings for equality.
Equality.
Yes. And this is one thing you are going to have to do when you're programming. You're not going to know something. You're going to have to look up line on how to do it.
Yeah. All right. So, luckily I have this over here. So what am I Googling again?
Python 3, compare two strings for equality. And I should actually look that up as well.
Guess it. Sorry, it was guess it. Wow, it literally went in one ear out the other. Guess string.
What are you looking at? What?
Oh, this is off. What am I put for Google? Python 3. Oh, compare strings.
Yes,
okay.
Compare strings.
Yeah, sorry. That like literally went in one ear and out the other.
That's fine. Okay, I know which one it is.
Comparing strings using Python. Okay.
Yes, KJ Miller, I thought that's what it was because I know a lot of newer languages let you compare strings like that, but I also wanted to let Azmodan know as well so he can get practice of looking up his problems on his favorite search engine.
So basically I had it right.
Correct, you did have it right. So, there are other ways to do it, and I am not going to explain those now because you're working in Python. As we get more into other things, I will be able to explain why it's equals, and in some other languages it's not equals, but not right now. Because you don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
So, if guessed word so far is equal to guess, what do we do?
Okay, then it would be...
Also,
I'm in the wrong thing again. One of these days I'll actually be in the right part. So, if it is, then print...
Hold on. Wait. No. Not here.
Okay.
The reason why is once we get out of the loop, then we want to do they have we won or have they lost. If they've won, print this. If they've lost, print this.
Okay.
I don't know if Azmodan was secretly a genius. I don't know, because he would be pretty damn awesome to like fake being bad at a programming language that he's really good. I don't know. I couldn't do that.
I mean, it's like I'm pulling a lot of like the times where I actually tend to somehow manage to pull it out of my ass and I seem to know what I'm doing. It's usually because I'm relating to something I've done with Excel.
Correct. Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah, on line 23, if the user has guessed the word so far in the word guess, so we're updating the test on line 17.
Okay.
So what do we have to change to true if the user has guessed the word?
Well, we'd have to
change to true. That's a big hint. We're only using one boolean value here.
Okay, so we need to change this. The user guessed the word.
Yeah, so we need to change that to true.
Okay.
Don't change it in the while loop. Change on line 23.
So then we'd go user guessed the word is equal to
true. Correct. Yeah. Now I think I've said this before, but just to let you know, technically line 23 should be read as user guessed the word is assigned the value of true. Because double equals is actually equals, how we know it in English. But at least most people most people say that. Does actually Excel have VBA programming? Visual Basic? I don't know. I think it does.
I just used it. I'm self-taught in that, so I didn't even go to any courses for the advanced, like the stupid things that people are like going in like, oh, I need to learn how to use Excel professionally. It's like, I just kind of taught myself.
That's the way to do it. All right, so we are at our time limit here. We're at 55 minutes. I think it's a good place to stop, because it'll give me enough time to be like, here's what we talked about. Let's save this. All right, so we got into Hangman code. We kind of started the program. You know, we have the variables we need. We started the game loop, so we went over the initialization, the testing, and the update phases. So we have the while loop. We explained about magic numbers with constants, and Python lacks constants. God fucking damn it. You know, we got using. So what I changed as well, user guess the word. I changed it to false since it has to be false first.
Yeah.
Now what we've done so far is line 19 and line 22 and 23. We have done the update. So every time it runs, just I'm sorry, KJ Miller. I cannot because we got tier. So I can't. Thank you for inviting me. I'd love to schedule another time with you, though. I promise. I can't because Tierney got her lazy boy chair in today, and so we're actually going to work on using sheets that hanging from the ceiling to wall off part of the living room, so she has like a space of her own. Since this is almost like a room of my own, since I have all the doors closed. Well, except Lucy, she's here. So that's why. But no, we can message everyone on Slack, and I'd love to like talk with you because you're fucking awesome. Okay, so what we got done was we did, you know, we got the while loop, we started the game loop as well, and we updated it. So now every time the user has guessed a word, guess count is going to be incremented up by 1, and we're going to see if the user has actually guessed the word. So don't put equals false there.
Okay.
Bad.
Well, I'm wondering because like this is supposed to be a test, right?
Hold on.
But this part is a test, but this part is not a test.
Yes, it is.
But okay,
it's two parts of a test. I added that. Well, also, if the exclamation wasn't there, it would also be considered in the test as well.
Really?
Yes. So basically, let's just say we had this. Go down to line like 25. If we had this, and we did this would basically just kind of be like this right now. It would just be false. Okay, so it would look at user guess the word. It would like, okay, user guess the word is false. Okay, so it's false. So in the case of 17, it would go, user guessed the word is false. Okay, let's negate that because of the exclamation mark. And then it would be true. So it is a test.
I'm wondering because, like, how is it testing though? Because it's just calling this, and we're trying to say while it's false. Because let's say we get to the point where this gets there, so that's true.
Hold on. Okay, so let's say right now. So one, actually, this needs an exclamation mark in front of it, or else this would just go out. So this thing's got so. While guess count is less than number of guesses, and the user has not guessed the word, and the not is there because of the bang or the exclamation mark. Yeah. If the user if the guessed word so far, which is at this moment a line of underscores, is equal to the word to guess, which is anti-disestablishmentarianism, make it true.
While user is the same as while true, while exclamation mark is oh, okay, so without this it's like okay, that makes actually a lot more sense.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I keep inserting the not when I'm talking about it, because if the exclamation mark was not here, I'd say while user has guessed the word. With the exclamation mark, we turn that around, so true becomes false and false becomes true, and so while the user has not guessed the word. Now, we could do this as well. This is the weird thing about Boolean logic. We could go, user has not guessed the word equals true. Then that just screws everything over. But we could use this as well.
Okay.
But we're not. I don't want to confuse my head as much more than it is. So
basically, while it's like this, it's still saying, while this is how it's stated here, keep in here. But if it's not, but if this changes, so it's not matching this, then we're at a while loop.
Say that one more time.
So if without this part here,
Yes.
so if we get rid of that,
This becomes true. This becomes false.
yeah. So it basically it's saying while the user guessed the word
Mhm.
is equal to line 14,
Not equal to
Then-
line 14.
or is the same as line 14.
Here, let me hold on. Let me show you this. Let me just do this longhand so you can see what it is.
It's checking for truthiness.
Yes, it is. So, okay, so if you notice, okay, so on right here, while guess count is less than number of guess,
Yeah.
we have a left side and a right side and this operand.
Yeah. So and this is like, I get this part because it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
2 parts and the comparison.
Yes.
This one, when
Mhm.
it's just on its own, I didn't see a comparison.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
and that's where I'm getting confused.
Yes,
The fact that it's not
correct.
a comparison, so I'm not really sure if that's how it could be a test.
Okay, let me hold on. Yeah, so longhand, it looks like this. We want user guess the word to be true.
Yeah.
Because once true is equal to true, it's true. If false is then if user guess the word is false, well, it's not equal to true, so it's false.
Okay.
Now, we do it like this though. So what this is saying, basically almost think of this as a replacement. When this is being read, user guess the word is being replaced with whatever is held in line 14. Whatever is being held in user guess the word. So this is so technically it's shorthand. We could do it longhand as I showed you. But Python understands that basically user guess the word is a boolean value, and boolean is either true or false.
Okay.
And it knows how to handle this. So correct, it does not look like this, but people know if they look at 14, they know, okay, user guess the word is a boolean value. It can either be true or it can either be false. And user has guessed the word is either true or false, so it's a test in itself. We could also write something like this. We could also go while true, TRUE, do something. If you notice on line 19, there's no comparison, correct? You don't see a comparison in there. But Python understands... Hold on. Your statement is only part true? Oh, is it? Sorry. I haven't done that kind of long-handed Boolean in a while. And what statement as well. So you see there's no comparison. But Python will go, so the while loop will always do something as long as this test is... As long as this evaluates to true. Because line 18 can never be false because it's never changed. It can't be changed. It's not a variable. It can never be changed. It's a hard-coded true. Line 19 will execute for eternity.
Okay.
We could also do something like this. False. Oh, would it? User guessed the word doesn't have to be explicitly Boolean. Correct. It doesn't have to be a Boolean. I'm trying to make it a Boolean. So on line 18, it's now false, which means this while loop will never execute. It only executes when this has evaluated to true. So now to show you something even better, I'm going to take line 20 right now, okay? We're going to go on line 18. I'm going to break this down so you can see how this works. I'm going to break this down so you can see how it works. So, if we take line 17 and we evaluate it. So, when we get to line 17, guess count is 0, right?
Yeah.
And do you understand, and guess count is 0, it's the same thing where like it kind of sees guess count and it puts in a 0.
Yeah.
So guess count is less than number of guesses. Is that true or false?
And that is true. Or, yeah, it's true.
That is true. So it looks like this. While, oh my god, I can't spell. While true, and at the moment, user guessed the word is false.
Yeah.
So while true and false. this is what it kind of breaks down to. And because we have a false in here, this will become false. And the reason why is when you're comparing two values and they're separated by an and, if there's at least one false, it will return false. The whole entire thing is going to be false.
Yeah.
Because they both have to be true.
Yeah.
So this will then kind of break down into while false. But we want it to execute because the user has not guessed the word yet. So do you kind of see how like we're kind of narrowing this down, how the tests start to work?
Yeah.
Correct.
I get it now on that part.
Yeah.
So
So now, if we had user has not guessed the word, this false would become true, and this whole entire thing would become true.
Yeah.
But that's go ahead. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. So 23 would become like that. Well, now I'm going to get rid of some lines. So that's how the test would kind of break down into what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but that's why there's no explicit test, because it's already a Boolean value.
Okay.
Oh, sweating. I can feel the sweat right down my back. Okay, that was fun. So yeah.
Sorry for the last minute question right when we're wrapping up.
That's okay. You need to know this and to know why it's like how it is. But that's why there's no explicit comparison, because this is already a Boolean value, and we're basically breaking down the while loop into Boolean values.
Yeah.
So we have that. We got the updated. So basically we have, if they guess, the guess count goes up, and we also see if they've guessed. So great. Awesome. So now we're done. Let me do my outro. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. Lurkers who are lurking, thank you so very much for lurking. Watchers who are watching, thank you so very much for watching. Bots who are botting, thank you so very much for botting. This has been great. We worked with Azmodan to do some Python code. We're going to make some Hangman. It's going to be fucking great. Guys, if you want, you can see me tomorrow at 11 in the morning. I'm going to be doing some 68K programming. And then if you want to see me more after that, I'll probably do some StarCraft as well tomorrow night. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday morning, bright and early at 8 in the morning for some Legend of Legaia. Azmodan, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I'm going to be spending about 5 minutes putting my kid to bed, tucking her in and everything. Then I will be back for my Persona 5 New Game Plus Merciless playthrough. So
go ahead, kill yourself.
Hmm?
Go ahead. That's just, New Game Plus Merciless. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went New Game on hard, but I've never played a Persona game, and then I found out, oh, there's a Merciless difficulty. That's even harder. Let's do that.
All right. Anyway, yep.
I like torturing myself.
Yep.
But yeah, so I will be back in about 5-ish minutes, and yeah, we'll continue that for about a couple hours, and then yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Yep.
So thanks everybody for coming by, and thank you, programming guy, for teaching me this, and we will be continuing this together maybe next week.
Yup. Maybe.
I say maybe just because I have learned never definitively say I have a weekend off, because life will decide to go, hey, you think you have the weekend off? Fuck you.
Yup.
You now have to work.
Yup. All right, everyone. I will see you all later.
All right. See you later, guys.